Welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast, where every episode is a step towards a healthier, happier you. Let's grow, thrive, and shine together.
Welcome back to our deep dive into generational trends.
Before we jump back in, I'm curious about something.
What's on your mind?
We've been talking a lot about these big global trends, but I'm wondering how they play out in our everyday lives. How do generational differences show up in the way we design our homes?
That's a fantastic question. Our homes are often extensions of ourselves, reflecting our values, tastes, and even our anxieties.
Exactly. And I think it's safe to say that millennials and Gen Z have pretty distinct aesthetics.
Yeah.
Millennials, for instance, are known for their love of mid-century modern furniture houseplants and anything that evokes a sense of cozy nostalgia.
It's that yearning for a simpler time, again, manifesting itself in interior design. Open floor plans, natural light, and a connection to nature are also popular in millennial homes.
Makes sense. We're all about creating a sanctuary from the digital overload.
Absolutely. But Gen Z is all about embracing bold colors, eclectic mixes of textures, and personalized spaces that reflect their unique identities. They're not afraid to experiment and break the rules of traditional design.
Yeah, I've seen some amazing Gen Z bedrooms on TikTok. They're like mini art installations. But with both generations facing rising housing costs, I wonder how these design aspirations translate to real-life living spaces.
That's a crucial point. Economic realities definitely influence design choices for both generations. Multifunctional furniture DIY projects and a focus on affordability are probably becoming more common.
Resourcefulness and creativity are key no matter your generation.
Couldn't agree more. It's fascinating how limitations can sometimes spark innovation.
Absolutely. But let's shift from our physical spaces to something equally important, our eating habits. How do generational trends influence what we cook and eat?
Food is such a central part of our lives and culture. It's no surprise that generational differences are evident in how we approach it.
For sure. Millennials, for example, are known for embracing avocado toast craft coffee and experimenting with diverse cuisines. We're also quite tech-savvy in the kitchen, relying on meal delivery apps and online recipes for convenience.
That reflects our busy lifestyles and desire for efficiency. But it's also interesting to note the rise of food blogs and social media influencers among millennials. Food has become a form of self-expression and a way to connect.
Yeah, sharing a delicious meal or a beautifully plated dish on Instagram is almost a ritual for many millennials. But what about Gen Z? How do their eating habits differ?
Gen Z is even more adventurous with food. They're growing up in a world of diverse culinary influences, eager to explore new flavors and textures. Plant-based diets, sustainable choices, and a focus on health and wellness are also prominent trends.
They're definitely more conscious of the ethical and environmental impact of their food choices, which is fantastic. But with all this talk about food trends, it makes me wonder, are there generational differences in how we approach dating and relationships?
Absolutely. Technology and shifting societal norms have completely transformed the dating landscape. Each generation navigates it uniquely.
For millennials, online dating apps like Tinder and Bumble became the norm. We were the first generation to truly embrace swiping left or right to find potential partners. But it also led to anxiety and a sense of choice overload for some.
And the constant comparison and competition inherent in online dating can be emotionally draining. It's intriguing to see how Gen Z is adapting.
From what I've observed, they're less interested in traditional dating apps and more drawn to social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram to connect. They're also more open to non-monogamous relationships and challenging traditional gender roles in dating.
It reflects their values: authenticity, inclusivity, and a rejection of rigid labels.
It's all about finding connections that feel genuine and fulfilling regardless of societal expectations.
That's a powerful shift. But with these different approaches to dating, I wonder how each generation views the concepts of marriage and family.
It's a big question with significant social and economic implications. Marriage rates have been declining across the board, and both millennials and Gen Z are delaying marriage and parenthood longer than previous generations.
It's likely a combination of factors: economic pressures, changing social norms, and a desire to prioritize personal fulfillment are all playing a role.
And let's not forget the student loan debt burdening many millennials. That can definitely impact dreams of marriage and family.
Indeed, the financial realities of modern life are undeniable. But it's also essential to consider the changing nature of family structures. Blended families, same-sex couples, and single-parent households are becoming more common and accepted.
It reflects a more diverse and inclusive society, which is wonderful, but it raises questions about how these evolving family structures will impact future generations.
And how those future generations will, in turn, shape societal norms and trends. It's a captivating cycle of continuity and change.
Speaking of change, let's talk about something undergoing a significant transformation right now, the world of work. How are generational trends influencing our careers?
We're seeing substantial shifts driven by technology, globalization, and the changing expectations of younger generations.
Millennials, for example, value work-life balance, purpose-driven careers, and flexible work arrangements. We're not afraid to change jobs to find the right fit and prioritize our well-being over climbing the corporate ladder.
It's a rejection of the traditional workaholic culture that defined previous generations. Millennials seek meaning and fulfillment in their careers, not just a paycheck.
Gen Z takes this even further. They're even more entrepreneurial, tech-savvy, and socially conscious than millennials, demanding workplaces aligned with their values and unafraid to speak out against injustice or inequality.
They're also more comfortable with remote work and freelancing, embracing the flexibility and autonomy these arrangements offer.
It's a whole new world of work. It's exciting to see how these generational trends will continue to reshape the workplace of the future.
Absolutely. And this evolution raises some important questions about the future of work itself.
Like,
Well, how do we create workplaces that cater to the diverse needs and values of multiple generations? How do we ensure that everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute their unique talents?
those are great questions.
Yeah.
It seems like finding that balance is going to be crucial as we move forward.
Absolutely. And it's not just about accommodating different work styles, it's also about leveraging the strengths of each generation.
Yeah, like how can we combine the tech savviness of Gen Z with the experience and institutional knowledge of older generations?
Exactly. It's about creating a synergy where everyone benefits from the collective wisdom and skills of the group.
It sounds like the key is to create a workplace culture that values diversity, collaboration, and continuous learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, before we wrap up our exploration of generational trends, let's zoom out and consider their broader impact on society.
What does it all mean for us as a collective? How do we navigate these generational differences and create a more harmonious world?
Those are big questions that we'll delve into in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on quite a journey exploring generational trends.
Yeah, from FOMO and side hustles to avocado toast and the future of work, we've covered a lot of ground.
It's not just about highlighting the differences between generations, though, right? It's about understanding how these shifts impact society as a whole.
Exactly. It's about bridging the gaps, finding common ground, and leveraging the strengths of each generation to create a better future for everyone.
Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. We're all navigating a world that's constantly changing and evolving.
Absolutely. And that's where intergenerational collaboration becomes so crucial. Mentorship, knowledge sharing, and open dialogue can help break down stereotypes and foster mutual understanding.
Imagine the possibilities if we could harness the tech savviness of Gen Z, the entrepreneurial spirit of millennials, and the wisdom of older generations.
We could achieve some truly remarkable things. It's about recognizing that each generation brings something valuable to the table, and that diversity of thought and experience is what makes our society so vibrant and dynamic.
It's like a tapestry woven from different threads, each one contributing to the richness and complexity of the overall design.
That's a beautiful analogy. It highlights the importance of embracing those differences rather than fearing them.
Yeah, because let's be honest, every generation has its blind spots. We all have things we can learn from each other.
For sure, millennials, for example, might be able to share insights on navigating the complexities of the workplace, while Gen Z can offer fresh perspectives on leveraging technology for social change.
Right, and both generations can benefit from the wisdom and experience of those who have navigated their own share of societal and technological shifts.
It's about recognizing that we're all part of a continuum, a chain of generations that stretches back through time.
And that each generation has a responsibility to learn from the past, shape the present, and pave the way for the future.
We stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, and we have a duty to create a world that's better, brighter, and more equitable for those who come after us.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into generational trends, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Go ahead.
Let's embrace the differences, celebrate our shared humanity, and work together to build a future where everyone can thrive.
Well said. And remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create collectively through our choices, our actions, and our commitment to building a better world.
Thanks for listening to the Wellbeing Podcast. Take care, stay inspired, and see you next time.